Today we will see the scholarly communication system. In this lesson we shall discuss about the concept of scholarly communication system, its underlying principles, life cycle, process and the crisis in scholarly communication system. We shall also learn the basic of research communication such as selection of journals, peer reviewing, copyright, plagiarism, how to publish a paper, and at the end we shall also discuss about the research visibility, how to increase the research visibility and how to create the research profile. Let us see about the what is mean by scholarly communication. It is the process of academics, scholars, researcher and publishing and sharing their research output or findings so that they are available to the global academic community. Scholarly communication is the essential part of any university system and it is the lifeblood of the university teaching and the research mission. And because of this advent of internet, the nature of scholarships and research communication has expanded beyond traditional print format and they are also shifting in the nowadays for the electronic media. Previously we are publishing the papers in the printed journals only, but now we are printing the papers or publishing the papers in different formats. Let us see the definition of scholarly communication. It is the system through which the researcher and other scholarly writing are created, evaluated for quality, disseminated to the scholarly community and preserved for the future use. We can also see the other definition that is given by the Association for College and Research Libraries. The system which includes both formal means of communication, that is the publication in peer reviewed journals, and the informal channels such as electronic listserv, discussion forums or other social medias. Let us see the scholarly communication system life cycle or the cycle of the scholarly communication. First, the funding agency will give the funds to do this research to the researcher and researcher will publish the papers or their research finding in the commercial publishers with the commercial publishers, and the commercial publishers is not only publishing the papers blindly or any output blindly, but they are also doing the review process, that is called as a peer reviewed process. After publication of their publication, the libraries will purchase that publication or in the various material and it is made available to the public, and again the funding agencies provide the funds to purchase that material. So this is in short the scholarly communication system. There are various stakeholders in scholarly communication. First is author. Author means any faculty members, scientists, scholars and researchers. They are publishing the papers and they are taking the advantages like academic rewards or academic identity in the research community. Next stakeholder is publisher. Both commercial and non-print profit organizations, they are also publishing papers. Learned society and other professional organizations. Libraries, that is university and R&D laboratories or institutions, they are also providing the papers or scholarly communication. Higher education institutions and research funding agency. So these are the stakeholders of scholarly communication. There are many crises in scholarly communication or free flow of information. The first crisis are the journal cost. Nowadays the journal cost like printed journal cost are day by day increasing and it is not possible for all the libraries to provide access to that printed material, or there are manifold rise in the number of journals which is being published both in print form and the online form. So for libraries it may not be possible to take both the forms. Next crisis may be the funder and the tax players. They may not be having the access to the research that they are paying for. Then the next crisis may be those who are not related with the universities or associated with the universities, they don't have the access to the current research. Then next crisis are producing a research paper may require years of work and requires a lot of money. So that may be the one of the reasons the researcher may not be taking the interest to do the research. Then the next crisis are generally the print format, print journals they are providing in the online format because of their preservation. So these may be the crisis or problem with scholarly communication. Some of the problems are also identified, and that may be the major problem for flow of information. First is author right and the access to government funded research. Second one is the review, peer reviewed process. The economics of scholarly resources, that may be also the problem with the free flow of information. Then next one is copyright, plagiarism and predatory journals. Nowadays copyright issues are very hot issues, and nowadays plagiarism is also there, and UGC has also given some rules and regulations regarding plagiarism, and if we caught in the plagiarism or if we are labeled as a plagiarist, then we may be punished by different rules. Then predatory journals. Predatory journal means there is no peer reviewing process, they are also charging for the publishing, that is called predatory journals. Then next problem is preservation of intellectual assets or institutional repositories. Nowadays all institutions they are maintaining their institutional repository, and that may be the problem for maintaining the institutional repository even funding is needed, so that can be one of the problem. Then new models of publishing like OA journals and e-publishing. So if we see these problems, then we have to also see the scientific publishing cycle. So for this picture is showing that scientists read. So whenever the new ideas is generated in the mind of scientists, then that scientists will write the articles, they will submit the articles. After submitting the articles with the publishing agencies or learned society, then it can be reviewed. After reviewing, if some changes is required, then the reviewers or the experts they are also recommended some of the changes, and based on that recommended changes we have to revise our paper, and after revising then we have to again resubmit with the learned society, and then it can be published. After publishing, the article gets indexed, and after indexing the article is available for the public domain if it is in the open access platform. So after that again the other persons will see our articles, they will use our articles, they will cite us, and after that the research visibility of our publications will be increased. So this is in short the scientific publishing cycle. Then let us see about the steps involved in publishing articles. There are different process or the different steps in publishing articles. If we are publishing our articles in the peer reviewed journals, then if we know the title, sometimes it can be happen that two versions are there. If we are knowing the title or journal, or we are not knowing the title. So if we are knowing the title, then we have to also check what is peer reviewed. If the title is under the peer reviewed, then we can decide to submit our article. If we are not identifying that article, that journal is under the peer reviewed, then we have to identify the titles. Then after that use the impact factor to assess the quality. Useful title can be selected, and after that based on the author instructions, then you can prepare your paper and then you can submit to the publisher. So this is in short the steps involved in publishing the articles. When you are publishing the articles, you have to also keep in mind the different checklist for publishing the articles. First, identify the right journals. So let us see that what is the scope of that journal, what is the coverage of that journal, and if our article or title is suits that scope and coverage of that journal, then we can publish the paper with that journal. So check the whether the journal is listed in science citation index journals, whether first read the instructions of the journal, that is guide to the authors. Check the journal's impact factor also, or you can also check the NAS score, and we have to also keep in mind that journal should not be come under the predatory journals and we should avoid them. The next process is publish your article in the open access journals. That is also possible. If you are publishing your article in the open access journals, that means it may be useful for all of us, and then we can use that open access journal. Means citations may be high when we are publishing in the open access journal. And whenever possible, if we are writing in the collaborative form with our colleagues, that may be highly useful in the open access platform. Then follow the research ethics and avoid plagiarism. Whenever we are writing the paper, we have to also follow the research ethics. Whatever we are publishing, we have to share with the social networking sites, and after publishing the paper, we have to deposit our preprint and institutional repository, and for this we have to also see the Sherpa Romeo policy. Let us see about the journal impact factor. It is a measure of the frequency with which the average number of article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. If we want to calculate the impact factor of 2018, so the calculation will be as it is, means like impact factor of 2018 equal to A divided by B, where A is the number of times article published in 2016 and 17 were cited by the index journal during 2018, where B is the total number of citable items published in 2016 and 2017. Then let us see about the author impact, that is called as a H index. Generally the journal impact factor is for journals, and the H index is a individual impact of the authors. So individual, suppose H index is 16, so vertical here you can see that number of citations, and horizontal article, journal article ranked by number of citation. So if the H index is 6 for any author, means the 6 most highly cited articles have been cited at least 6 times each. There are other metrics of individual impact factor, calculation of individual impact factor, that is author level matrix, and author level matrix measure impact of an individual article and instead of journal level. So for example, cite score is a metric of serial title in Scopus, which is launched in December 2016 by Elsewhere. There are other metrics also like UL matrix. UL matrix includes how many times the article has been viewed by, or how many times the article has been downloaded in the social media. So for this UL matrix can be used. Let us see about the basic issues which are related with the copyright. Copyright protection is granted automatically once work is fixed in a different format. Only a little amount of creative originality is necessary to warrant protection. If we are writing in the joint authorship, then the whole there is a full copyright in the work, and which both the authors can hold that equal rights. Then sometimes the registration is not necessary. Then most of the universities and the colleges do not maintain or do not claim that scholarly publication is the work made for hire. So these are the basic issues related with copyright. And then how to deal with these issues regarding copyright? Actually the copyright is the bundle of rights, and which may be given away in whole or in part to the publishers. The author, if we are signing the copyright and we are giving the full right to the publishers, then we may not using that material for our own also. So that we have to also clear with the publishers. Then if the traditional publishers usually require authors to transfer full copyright, and open access publishers do not ask for copyright also. when we look at the copyright, the Creative Commons is also terms or terminology which has released several copyright license known as Creative Commons license. It is a free of charge to the public, and if the author wishes to reuse their work but he has not taken any right to do so, then his ability to reuse will be limited to use the permitted by fair use. So for fair use or for academic purpose we can use this Creative Commons. Then let us see about the predatory journals. Predatory journals actually means the journal agencies, they are calling to the authors and they are inviting their papers, but the chances may be that the peer reviewing process may not be followed, or even no editorial team may be there for publishing a paper in the predatory journal. So whenever you publish your paper, then let us look or check it that whether it is in the predatory journals list or not. So sometime the fake impact factor will be also produced by some of the publishing companies. So they are not mentioned in the journal citation reports, and they are also called as a predatory publishers. And Jeffrey Bales, he is also maintaining the list of such predatory journals and misleading metric in his website. So we can also check that Jeffrey Bales website or list. Let us see about the plagiarism. When we are publishing the papers, then we should also see plagiarism should not be followed by us. Plagiarism is nothing but it is simply taking oneself's work and passing it off for our own without acknowledging the source. So if we want to avoid the plagiarism, we should write in our own language, and we should also cite the references. If we are using the quote, then we should also quote it and acknowledge and do not paraphrase. Sometimes paraphrasing means sometimes we are just taking the paragraph and we are changing some of the words here and there, so that is called as a paraphrase. And UGC has recently published one rules and regulation in 23rd July 2018 regarding this promotion of quality, integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher educational institutions. And based on these rules, if we are caught in the plagiarism, then we may be having some punishment. So there are new models of scholarly publication, and because of the internet and emerging trends, where authors are publishing in the new format, we are also following the new form of presentation, we are also following the new model of interaction, new peer reviewed process, the journals are also following, new business and distribution models also we are following. So we have to also see about the open access publishing. Open access publishing generally refers to the journals and other published material that are freely available online. And if we are publishing in the open repositories, so open repositories or institutional repositories means we are publishing our article via the discipline based repositories on their websites. So both the models, it may be a open access journals or it may be a open access repositories. Both the models are fully compatible with the copyright, peer reviewed process and promotion process. Then let us see about the open journal system. Open journal system, it is the open source software where starting from the publications or submitting the paper to the publishing or even till the indexing process, all the things are automatically through websites. This is called as open journal system. So open journal system relies on fulfilling different roles such as journal manager, editor, reviewers, authors, reader, and it has a model that supports subscription journals also. Then there are some government initiatives regarding this. You may be heard about the Consortia for Academic and Research Ethics, that is called as a CARE. They are refine and they strengthen the research publication, and if you want to see the good quality journal list, then you have to go through this CARE list. So CARE reference list of quality journals, they have just issued the CARE list of reference list of quality journals, whenever you want to publish a paper, then you have to also see this care list. And not only this, apart from this care list, some of the reputed publishers like Elsevier or Springer, Taylor and Francis or Valley, so they are also maintaining a good quality journals, and they are publishing the good quality articles. After publishing papers, you have to also make your research profile and visibility, and this can be done with the different like web presence, like Google Scholar page you can use, ResearchGate also you can use, Scopus author profile you can use, OurSite, LinkedIn, Academia, Almatrix, and now Inflibnet is also maintaining Vidwan databases and IRNIS databases. So here IRN databases you can also use, and if you want you can also engage the social media. Research visibility through social media also you can do, like digital research IDs you can create, scholars citation profile you can create, you can publish your paper in the open access platform, and you can also use the Facebook, Twitter, Mendeley or ResearchGate. And whenever you publish a paper, then you can just self archive it and use the blog and postcard also for research visibility. In conclusion, we can say that scholarly communication is seen as a crucial part of academic reward and reputation for professor, researcher and scientist. Publishing research output in high impact factor should be primarily concern of the researcher. When their work are published, they are also concerned about the citation, and which is directly related to the paper's quality and visibility. The researcher also need to consider research ethics and avoid plagiarism while publishing papers. Thank you.